conserving some of the players' energy.
Manus takes. Well, Celtic, with a look of a side prepared to take as long as it takes, but Jim Jeffries can be very pleased with his side to reach this point after a goalless 90 minutes, particularly after the sending off in the second half of Stefano Salvatore. The Hearts have really played with great gusto in front of their enthusiastic fans, and it's still possible for them as the players collect their wits for the extra 15 minutes each way. We'll hand you back for a moment to the thoughts of Paul Dempsey and his panel.
Thanks very much to Martin Tyler, a well-earned breather for our two commentators at Tynecastle. Do stay with us. You do feel that there's yet more drama to unfold here. The possibility, of course, of penalties should extra time not produce a firm result either way. Charlie Nicholas and Steve Archibald watching with me in the studio. Charlie, how disappointed will Celtic be not to have actually hammered home an advantage in the second period?
They'll be disappointed, but they haven't passed the ball as well as they would like at times. And their final ball in from crossing situation, in particular tonight, Jackie McNamara and Stuart Gray when he was on, they weren't really getting quality in. They've had one good cross from Peter Grant towards the end there, but Pierre Van Hooijdonk really scores.
Let's remind ourselves of that while we talk.
It's a great cross, good depth, knocked back by Andy Tom, and as I think Martin quite rightly said in commentary, you watch the experienced Andy Thorne here, just enough presence not to get any power in the header. That was good defending.
Steve Archibald, your thoughts, please.
Yeah, it's similar to Charlie, but I think an awful lot of credit's got to be given to Hearts. They've worked very, very hard in this game, and they take all the credit out of the situation, especially now with 10 men down. They're working, I think, on adrenaline, and no matter what happens now, they'll take an enormous amount of credit from the game.
Steve, Jim Jeffries' face was a picture at the time of the sending off of Salvatore. This, first up, the first half booking that he picked up.
Yeah, it was late tackle and it's a booking, no doubt about it. But Salvatore, he worked very hard in the game also, made a large contribution to the Hearts' effort, and maybe was just a touch over-enthusiastic. But that went all through the team. The whole team were wound up for the game, and Salvatore just epitomised it.
Second bookable offence, the one that resulted in the sending off.
He'll be disappointed. You see, he's just stuck a leg out there. He knows he's beaten, and his experience should have told him not to stick the leg out. Ball's not in a dangerous area. There's somebody coming to his back to cover it. It was a bad booking, and he'll be very disappointed with that.
And Jim Jeffries at the time was even more disappointed with him, wasn't he?
Jim, I think, was... you could read everything that was going through his mind was in his face, absolutely.
A word about Andy Thorne's effort. We were just looking at him there, Charlie.
Yeah, he's done tremendously well. We said earlier in the game, he looked a little bit heavy, which you would expect being out of first-team football. But he's been fully committed to the cause tonight. He's obviously looks, you can tell by his face, he looks as if he's thoroughly enjoying it. And he's been absolutely outstanding for Hearts. And I think, again, he looks as if he's been playing with Dave McPherson for a long time here. Good combination, they've done well together.
I think that's the question there is experience. He's good experience. Jim Jeffries has known exactly what he's doing, and it's a terrific move.
Steve, why have Hearts been able to nullify Celtic even though they've had a man short second half?
As I said before, they're on adrenaline, and I think that the Hearts, not just the players but their fans as well, and the whole club feel that the world is against them, and so they're all sort of on that adrenaline kick. The fans as well, got the players wound up, they've got the momentum going. They sorted Celtic out in the first half, closing them down early, and the momentum's kept going throughout the game.
Right, we've had the toss for extra time, 30 minutes more to come live from Tynecastle. Let's get back to Gordon Smith and Martin Tyler.
Well, thank you, Paul. These sort of scenarios, the stuff of legends, really, if Hearts could produce something power-packed. They've got their power in their own pack, so to speak, to keep going a man light for the extra half an hour and record a famous victory. Might even take penalties, of course. And Gordon Smith and I intrigued by the contest here. And I think both of us, Gordon, just a little feeling that Celtic came here with a certain state of mind. Really been able to get out of it. And as we've stressed on a couple of occasions during the 90 minutes, it's fine if you go on to win. If you don't...
Well, the thing about the way the game's going now, Hearts are going to get all the plaudits, no matter who wins. If Celtic, even if Celtic win, Hearts get all the plaudits tomorrow. But if they can go and win with 10 men at this stage now, all these players are going to be heroes in Edinburgh and all over Scotland.
And all over Britain, watching our pictures
all over
tonight.
Britain, exactly.
Tom. Here's Grant. Thorne, not one to panic, and he gets it forward with good accuracy again. Goss had 45 minutes in a reserve game on Saturday. You want to just take it steadily with Jeremy Goss, so make sure he gets maximum fitness. He's got to go the extra mile here tonight. Di Canio. Di Canio. One turn, two turns. In the end, he strikes it with his left foot. Not particularly impressively. Weariness will obviously become a factor for Celtic as well, despite their numerical advantage.
Yeah, it was a dreadful strike, wasn't it? He opened
Yes.
up the goals really well for himself there, a bit like the way Gascoigne tends to do on the edge of the box, turns defenders inside out, and then taking onto his left foot there. Already with Van Hooijdonk up front, you can see Celtic more positive there. It came off the back players, laid the ball off, and the attack was further up the field. So that's a more positive sign, and it means that Andy Thorne will have to work even that bit harder now in extra time to try and contain Celtic.
He's working on his relationship with the Hearts fans. Hughes. Now Tom. It's well read, but he's twisted an ankle.
He could be off as well. Peter Grant already got the yellow card.
Got booked early in the game. And it is 10-a-side now. 3 minutes into extra time. Grant steaming in. But did he get the ball as well as Thorne?
I'm not sure if he did. He had that heavy challenge before, the one he was booked for. But certainly he was going for the ball there. But just a little bit late, caught the player. I see him going in there. I mean, there's not a lot in that. He's made contact, but there's no doubt about it, Peter Grant. He could maybe be booked for reckless play rather than deliberate foul play there on that occasion. But as a heavy challenge, Thorne has taken the brunt of it. But as I mentioned earlier on, Martin, there's always this tendency from referees when a player's been set up on one side to take an opportunity, if they can find it, to even things up, and that's exactly what's happened there. Peter Grant was running the risk, so like any of the other players we mentioned tonight, he should have been careful, considering he's already got a yellow card.
And now let's turn our thoughts to Andy Thorne, who came here to help out Jim Jeffries. And it is maybe the shortest of short-term arrangements, possibly just for the one match. And he won't want to go home with an injury that might interfere with his chances of taking up the reins of his career in England. But I have to say he's made a pretty quick recovery.
Yeah, interesting game too now. There'll be more space, players getting tired. We could see chances getting made now if both teams remain positive about it.
So Salvatore sent off inside the 90 minutes, and early in extra time the count evened by the departure of Peter Grant. Now Celtic really are on their mettle. Thorne's there again. McCann. And number 11 possesses the other, and Cadete who's been pretty much on the periphery of this particular cup tie, when working for the ball himself.
Very quiet game he's had. He drills in a good shot with power, but it's a very, very difficult angle. It takes a really, something a bit special to score from that sort of angle and range. But Cadetti's desperate, I think, to do something in the match. But he is a type of player we've seen before who could be out the game for quite a long spell and then suddenly deliver that killing blow. He's always a threat. If he gets the right sort of ball in the box, he could, play his part yet.
Just hit too long by Cameron from the can. So my friends in Portugal tell me that Cadetti's much needed back in the national team again. They had a poor result against Armenia in their first international earlier this month, first international of the season. And Cadetti wasn't involved. He might well get the call next time the squad is selected. Van Hooijdonk. From Boyd, Di Canio. This match really in the melting pot now. Van Hooijdonk, Tom, and Russo read it. Well, who's got the stamina, who's got the strength? Perhaps more than any other occasion during the evening, the chance to have a go at Celtic.
Imagine that the ones who played on Saturday when they were down to 7 players, they've had to play for a long spell tonight with 10. They must be the ones that are feeling it most. It's just a question whether they can keep going and find that energy and stamina. The occasion sometimes makes a difference, Martin. That's the thing that keeps the players going.
It's like McCann, and well, he's got youth on his side. Gary Mackay less so.
Won't thank you for that.
Flag was up. Charlton was one of those taken off towards the end at Ibrox, and he didn't quite go the full distance. Di Canio. And Celtic carve out something here. With Donnelly, McNamara.
Donnelly's not been in the game much since he came on as a substitute, and I thought he should have taken his first touch there towards goal rather than away from it, because although he was able to lay the ball back for McNamara, put McNamara under so much pressure there to get the shot in early that he just didn't hit it well at all. But Donnelly's taken up a midfield role. He's normally played last season, played most of the time wide in the right and did very well there, but this season, the introduction of Di Canio and Cadetti in the team, he's found his appearances have been very limited.
Which is the old argument about bringing in foreign players and now no restrictions on them. Harms the homegrown talent. Up to Simon Donnelly really now, particularly an opportunity like this, to say I deserve to be in the team. We're looking for the goal that might settle this Coca-Cola Cup quarter-final. Marky Mackay. Canio's touch is usually better than that. The easiest ball to control. Goss. Robertson just trying to take cues on the inside. Tom. Now Donnelly, nothing much to the right. Van Hooijdonk's gone there now. Cadetti through the middle, but not able to control it. Rather typical of his evening. John Robertson keeps jumping.
Yeah, he's not
with an
much chance. Not much chance with those sort of balls up to him. But he's had to live with that for years. John Robertson, the sort of service he gets at times, just not quite what he'd want.
Who's going to seize the initiative here and seize the place in the semi-final? Maybe it'll take penalties. I see more and more kids now are children's school playground practicing and say, what are you doing? We're having penalty shootouts. What they've seen on the television. Do they think that's the way the game's played these days?
Great pastime now. I'm just wondering whether, you know, even John Robertson, whether he's staying on so long, because he's somebody that will be required for the penalties. He's the penalty specialist, and you know, you think that the last thing they want to do is take a man out who normally scores the penalties for them. So although he's tiring, it looks like he might have to stay on the full match.
Still a while away from a particular solution to this particular conundrum. Canio using Boyd as a decoy and just holding on to the ball until his shirt was being held by McManus. Burns maybe thinking about another change. Dane Morten Weghorst has a possibility to come on. And Steve Fulton, of course, began with Celtic. Maybe coming on to play against them. Van Hooijdonk. Well, that was a magnificent try. From our angle, it looked as though it might well have bent inside the far post, and Rousset had to turn it away to safety.
I think that was definitely going in, Martin. Going in that far corner. Rousset did exactly the right thing there, getting his hands to pushing it away. But Van Hooijdonk is willing to try his luck from everywhere tonight. Gary Mackay going off to tremendous, rapturous applause. He deserves it. He's worked really hard. Had a tremendous game in that midfield area. And ex-Celt Steve Fulton on now to go and work in these last remaining minutes to try and hold out, or at least maybe even get forward and get a goal.
Straight away. Fulton's first touch to clear the corner. Naismith. Very well indeed. He might have to take a penalty. Marky Mackay. Donald. 20 minutes to go to half-time in extra time. Still on a knife edge at Tynecastle. Canio. Well, you hit the nail on the head last time, Gordon, when I was trying to be polite about his shooting. I'll leave it to you again.
I think that's a tiredness sign, actually, Martin, because what happens is you try and put more power into it because you're tiring, and you end up skying the ball. It's a sure sign of it. He's worked hard, the Canio, in the forward sense when they've been on the ball, and dribbling does take a lot out of you. But he may be tired. He may be the one that Celtic was thinking about replacing at this stage.
So, Morten Weghorst, who also took part in last season's Coca-Cola Cup final with Dundee, left shortly afterwards to join his present club. And it's Andy Tom who goes off.
Surprise to me there, Tom. Also a player who very, very dangerous when he can get into forward areas. Okay, he's had quite a quiet spell in this extra time, but Canio does look as if he's tired.
Here's Goss. Good movement by Cameron. And it was McCann trying to get to the cross. Marshall didn't really deal with that decisively. Jeremy Goss, he's a noted volleyer of a football. Remember one or two special goals in his time at Norwich City.
Yeah, somebody who has scored special goals. It was a good deep cross to the back post there, and this is a surprise to me that Gordon Marsh decided to punch there. I mean, it's John Robertson who's underneath him. He's not going to be challenged in the air for it, and he could have taken the pressure right off his defence just by catching it.
Too much wrong with that. He just turned as he played the ball away from Cameron. Free kick given to Hearts. Naismith. Cameron. goes for the offside, it might well go for the change around any second. But a significant incident in extra time, the departure of Peter Grant. Red carded. Di Canio. Well, he does look shot.
Yeah, I think that's a sign of talent as well. They always say the first thing it goes when you get tired, your skill. And, you know, he's not looking as sharp as he was in the early part of the game. Maybe he just needs a bit of a rest and to come back into it. But, you know, in the first half, he was so sharp, turning players and getting the space to get his crosses in and his shots. And we've already seen early signs that, you know, this has been a hard match for him. And yet, Andy Tom was the one who was taken off.
It's a quick turn round. And it's the Coca-Cola Cup quarter-final. When you really could put your money on either side, it's very, very difficult to predict the outcome now. It's down to sheer determination, the ability to go the distance, and maybe in the end, the ability under pressure to put the ball away from a penalty kick.
Exactly. Hearts have shown tremendous guts and willingness to battle with Celtic. Celtic have the more talented players. There's no question of that. You just have to look through the ranks of the 10-a-side at the moment and see that Celtic have all the qualities required to win this match. But that sometimes isn't enough. Skill alone isn't enough to win all cup ties. And Hearts have shown many other qualities and stuff that actually, you know, can win these sort of matches, even if it does have to go to penalties.
Second period of extra time comes from Celtic attacking the end, behind which they've got a couple of thousand frantic fans who would have hoped that this would have been wrapped up before now. Weghorst. And the Thorn was struggling to get to it. Donnelly! Oh, my goodness, it took another deflection. Rousset was left perplexed by the line of the shot after that.
It's a good strike as well. Thorn did well to control the initial, and Cadet, he just touched it back, and Donnelly really struck that hard, just clipped the side of one of the Hearts players. I think it was Thorn as well who was out to make the challenge.
Yes, Andy Thorn didn't give it up. Corner by McNamara, nice little flick by Van Hooydonk, unlucky.
That was very unlucky, almost squeezed it through there between the three Hearts players to Cadet who was coming in.
Another McNamara corner. Away well by McPherson. Watson struggling to hold it up. Got enough energy just to flail a boot at the ball. Cadete dropping it in behind Naismith, but he wasn't to be passed. A true fight to the finish here at Tynecastle. McNamara, the goalkeepers. Programme's of course running late because of the extra time here. Sports Centre to come, and after the action finishes at Tynecastle, we'll show you the goals from Dundee against Aberdeen. Action, I can promise you, not to be missed in another of the Coca-Cola Cup quarter-finals. A rerun of last year's final, of course.
Sorry, Martin, a lot of tired players out there now. You can just see it in the faces, and you know, running on adrenaline, most of them, and it even becomes a very nerve-wracking experience when it gets to even penalty kicks, when you have to take them when you're tired, because I've seen so many occasions a few missed with players who normally would go and finish them.
Weghorst. Mara trying to stay onside. He's looked along the line and done that well. Still McNamara. Settled for the corner. Up comes Hughes. One lapse now. And it could all be over. One moment of inspired play as well. Robertson trying to trigger Hart's break. Canio's found a little bit of extra energy from somewhere. There's no excuse for Weghorst to be tired. That was just a clumsy touch.
His initial look at Cadete was as if it was his fault, but the ball was overstruck there. It was the right idea though. Cadete had made the run outside him, and if he had delivered the right sort of pass, Cadete could have gone on there and either fired that cross goal or had a shot at goal himself.
Well, Celtic, when the draw was made, this was a tricky tie for them, make no mistake about it. Away in Edinburgh, all the passion of Tynecastle. Robertson, he scored! Hearts have got a goal here in heroic circumstances, and that arch opportunist John Robertson has struck it.
There's a lot of space around that Celtic defence. Lovely pass from Fulton there. The cover came across, well squeezed in by McCann, and Robertson got the power on it. Marshall got a hand to it, couldn't stop it. That's a great ball in from McCann there. Robertson steadied himself brilliantly, let it run across him, just gave himself the space, and still the power left. He's tired in this match. We wonder if he might be taken off. Fantastic finish, and if anything's going to lift Hearts and keep them going to the end of this match, that's the thing. But we'll have to see more from Celtic now. They've got to come in force, and in their time, Celtic, they've scored an awful lot of late goals.
Miscue from Thorne. I was about to say that when this tie came out of the hat, it was a tricky tie for Celtic. Circumstances since then, before tonight, certainly made them strong favourites. Hearts have battled away with wonderful gallantry, and now they lead. And there are 10 minutes left, a long 10 minutes for Jim Jeffries. That's Fulton who set up the goal, preventing any chance of an equaliser then. What must Tommy Burns be feeling? His team have not really sparked at all. Donnelly, now they've got to be ignited somehow or they're out.
A momentous night for them so far. I mean, everything's going their way now. But that was good goalkeeping as well. Rusey coming, taking that ball at his highest point, taking the pressure off the defence. Tommy Burns, not a lot left in his locker room to change things. He's only got McLaughlin left there to bring on. He might think about doing it, but at this stage, the game running away from Celtic, they've got to put in a lot of pressure in these last few minutes. Get the ball in the box, get the ball into Van Hooydonk's head, hopefully get the bits round about him in the box and get the chances to get the equaliser.
Hearts back off. Boyd. Van Hooijdonk, McPherson doggedly following. Boyd chases on. Out comes Rousset. There's a real race here, and the goalkeeper was taken down. And Boyd's going to be booked.
Yeah, I think there's a bit more frustration and despair rather than any badness about it. Rousset was always favourite to it, and Tommy Boyd being in with a late shot. I don't think he can have any complaints, but you can imagine how the Celtic players are feeling at this stage. They haven't had a good night at all, weren't playing well from the first moment. I think they gave Hearts a lot of initiative.
And there's another booking call there, sorry to cut across you, but Van Hooijdonk's had a say, and he's been booked as well.
Yeah, there's some frustration coming out now. The Celtic fans very muted at this moment. The scarves are waving all around the stadium. The Hearts fans are enjoying this greatly. I'm sure they came along here tonight fearing the worst and hoping for the best, most of them, but couldn't have been much better occasion than this for them.
Well, there are signs here that Celtic might disintegrate almost as badly as Hearts did on Saturday. There's a need for composure to to maximise the use of what little time there is left to try and somehow pull it out of the fire here. John Robertson, who has scored so many goals for Hearts, 249 now, but surely this as valuable as any in the past, given the circumstances of this particular fixture and what it would mean to Hearts to win it. Not just the progress into the semi-final, but to re-establish their reputation, their credentials at the highest level of Scottish football. But Celtic have a free kick. Van Hooijdonk, well, he gave it absolutely everything.
Yeah, that was a ball that had to be held, Martin, wasn't it? Fired in there hard and low. If it spills off Brucey, the first half did, and the Celtic players were onto it, he was lucky to get away with that, but that is a difficult one to take. It's down low, almost a carbon copy of the bad goal he lost in last year's Scottish Cup final.
Naismith. Well, it's got up from Hughes, a miss kick to find Van Hooijdonk. They look for a runner on the right-hand side, there's no one. And Naismith knocks it long. Van Hooijdonk. Numbers to clear it. Naismith's header though, only drops for Donnelly. Can't scramble it away. One eye on the ball, one eye on the clock. They mustn't get distracted if they're going to round it off here in rousing fashion. Here's Di Canio. McNamara. Goalkeeper can't go for this one. Van Hooijdonk can. He's touching at straws, I think, and appealing for a penalty there. Just looking at Andy Thorne. He is running on empty.
I think a few of them are. I mean, Van Hooijdonk here is under challenge there. Don did well just to get up there. I don't think there was any claim in McPherson helping out.
And that was a jarring challenge from the player who has been booked, Hughes.
Well, with John Hughes, no quarter asked, none given. Wholehearted player there and making the challenge. Brucey is doing well at this stage of the game. He's taking the pressure off his team 2 or 3 times already, just taking crosses. They look like simple crosses to take, but he has to hold on to them. He took that great save as well, that clutch from the shot from Van Hooijdonk. As long as Hearts can continue to fight like this in the remaining minutes, then they're going to be home and dry.
Goss, Cadete, Celtic fighting for their Coca-Cola Cup lives, and at least in the short term for their reputation. Fulton. Flags up against Robertson, and something's gone here. Maybe a calf.
Cramp.
Could be cramp. Let's hope it's only cramp, because they'll be able to pull the toes up and hopefully keep going. He's earned cramp.
Yeah, certainly has.
Well, no words of praise too high for Hearts here, but Celtic, a side that you expect strong starts from. They've got a reputation for that. Well, they started slowly tonight, probably to the astonishment of Jim Jeffries. And I think Gordon Smith and I feel that an opportunity to take the initiative straight away was squandered. And if it stays this way, they're going to pay a heavy price for that.
Yeah, I think that'll be the after-match analysis of it, that Celtic started low-key and then couldn't switch on the button that would get them going in this match. And Hearts got a lot of encouragement from Celtic playing that way and from their contribution to the game as well.
It's Donnelly. It's Rousset, just from the foot of Cadete.
Great work there from Donnelly, lovely little turn on the edge of the box just to fire that ball in. Good save by Rusey.
Seconds plus any time added on. Here comes Celtic again. That will do for Dave McPherson and for Hearts. Gordon, tell us your man of the match.
Yeah, I've chosen young guy Naismith. There's a lot of claims for it. Different players like Robertson, who's a fantastic game. McPherson, Thorne himself, with experienced guys. But I think a young lad at 17 deserves to come in a match like this and play as well. Deserves it.
Celtic still searching for the equaliser in the few seconds that remain, and to take it to a penalty shootout. An extraordinary evening in Edinburgh, and it hasn't finished yet. Thorne got it, just, and Jeremy Goss hoists it away. It'll take a few more seconds to retrieve here. Oh, I don't think it went out of play. And ball boy there, yeah, very carried away. It's got to be restarted with a drop ball. Well, it's understandable in these circumstances. We're all getting carried away, because Celtic might be going home here with their tails very much between their legs. It is now stoppage time at the end of extra time, and John Robertson's goal. Van Hooijdonk didn't get there. Thorne called upon again.
Good defending, Martin. Had to be one at the back post. Van Hooijdonk coming onto it. You can see the threat he puts in. Thorne doing really well to get that away.
In from Di Canio. Oh, and Rousset doesn't have to reach it, but it's another corner.
Not sure he touched that there. A few Hearts players claiming they didn't, and certainly Rousset was.
I don't think it was the goalkeeper. No, it certainly wasn't, was it? Maybe he thought it hit a Hearts head in that original challenge. That's Cadetta. And the Marshall has come up as well, and he's now trying to scamper back, but it's over. A truly astonishing victory for Heart of Midlothian. Very depleted, but far from deflated. They've channeled all their emotion in the right direction tonight, and they've sent Celtic out of the Coca-Cola Cup against considerable odds. John Robertson with the goal in the second period of extra time, by which time the game was 10-aside. Hearts had lost a player earlier in the evening, Salvatore, then Peter Grant went off for Celtic. Quite phenomenal. Hearts 1, Celtic 0.